Hello everyone, my name is Gavin Van Moore, Catholic author and speaker from Southwest Minnesota. Excited to continue talking about my new book, Shine Through the Darkness, Reigniting Christ's Light in Your Life. Now if you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel for future videos, and share it with others that would enjoy the content. If you would like me to speak at your parish or at an event, or if you'd like to purchase a copy of the book, all that can be found in the description below. Now right now, me and my wife have a 6-month-old daughter about to become 7 months old. And it's a fun time because there's so much development, so much new changes. And as she keeps filling out, her actual physical changes start to develop. And with that, does she look more like me or more like my wife? It's kind of become this fun game between the two of us on who she looks more like and who do we hear it from more. You know, a lot of times my family will say that kind of looks more like her. Now her family will say the exact opposite and say that she looks more like me. But as she develops, every now and then we would say, I see more you or see more myself in it as she keeps growing older and older. But that's not something that we can control. That's just who she is and how she is going to grow up. But what about her personality? As she keeps getting older, that's going to be the fun thing to continue to see. All right, if she looks like me, is she going to have my wife's personality or vice versa? But that's just something that we can't predict, and that's something that only time will tell. I mean, think about your own personality. Think about what you were like in high school, college, where you're at now, or, once you start a family. How have you changed personality-wise throughout your life? I know for me, it seems very drastic changes throughout the many different steps. Now, studies have shown that our personalities are actually a combination of the 5 people we spend the most time with, or whatever influences us the most. So that's why maybe in high school and college and having a family, we might seem a little bit different. Maybe we're more mellow, maybe we're a little more rebellious. It all depends on who we're surrounding ourselves with. Are we in different crowds? If you leave high school and you meet new friends, once you go to that university, is that going to have an impact? Maybe you join a new church, you're surrounded by a different faith community. How is that going to have an impact on you? The other thing is the distractions. Now, as we get older, the joke is kind of that your friend group starts to get smaller and smaller, mostly because your family is your main priority. Between family and your church, that's about everyone you see, besides your coworkers. So one of the things is maybe we don't even have 5 people that directly influence us on a day-to-day basis. Maybe we just don't see that many people. But if we start thinking about our phones, how much of a role does that play? We have this thing called entertainment, but it's really just a distraction. If we're scrolling on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, or if we're on YouTube, like you'll be watching this video, how much time do we spend being influenced by the content on there and the people sharing their message, just like I'm trying to do here? How much of an impact does that have on our personalities? The types of news media that we listen to, the types of music that we listen to, how much does that change who we are? Now, one of my favorite lessons that we teach in our catechism classes is this very simple question that we ask the students. Where is God? Now, first question is, or first answer I should say is, God is everywhere. He's in every single one of us, and absolutely. But as we've talked about in previous videos, and as we will continue to talk about, God dwells in all of us, but only if we allow Him to shine out. Because although God is in everyone, not everyone shows who God is through them. So God can be everywhere. He is in every single person. But where else is He? Well, obviously He's in the church. He's in our priests. He's in the nuns. He is in our family and our friends. We see His presence through the people around us and in that positive influence that they have. Well, what about entertainment? Well, there's Christian music, there's Christian movies, tons of Christian authors, Christian podcasts now. There are so many good content that we can find God and can find His influence into our lives. Now here's the funner question and the more interesting one to see the results. Where is God absent? Or in a sense, like we've talked about previously, where has God been pushed out? Where is He not allowed? Well, first thing, we talk politics and schools. God isn't allowed in either of those places. Well, if you look at the top 100 songs, none of them are even close to being faith-related. You go to the movie theater, and besides the few pop-up movies that focus on a very key issue, like currently Sound of Freedom, hardly any of the movies in Hollywood are kicking out good Christian movies. How about TV? I just saw a study that over 86% of studies, or 86% of TV shows have graphic and very sexual content on them, far from being faith-centered. Now, once again, we look at our people, our friends. We might have friends that are atheists, and not that we shouldn't hang out with them, but are they influencing our decisions? Are they influencing our faith? Are we reading enough to continue with the development and growth in our faith? Now, if you look at the two lists that we just talked about on where God is and where God is absent, we basically just went through the same list. We can say that God is not allowed in schools, but at the same time, there are Catholic schools, there are Lutheran churches or schools, there are schools for numerous faiths. If we look at movies, we have the choice to decide if we want to watch a good Christian movie or one that is filled with sex scenes and swearing and drug content. Same with music and books and podcasts. All of our entertainment, we get to choose. But yet, that content is influencing our decision. And what's happening is our personalities are going to be continually developing to follow the popular trend. It's very easy to say that God isn't popular in at least the United States, at least not in the entertainment sense. So if we constantly are needy to be popular or in the loop of what is the trendiest thing, we're going to find ourselves constantly being pulled farther and farther and choosing where God is absent. And in doing that, we might see a shift in our personality. Is God in your top 5? We talked about the 5 people that influence your life the most, influence your personality on who you are today. Is God allowed to be one of those 5? Do we know anything about him? Do we allow his word to be a part of our daily lives? Do we have that daily relationship where we're speaking to him through prayer? Are we communicating with his church, with his communities, and with his people? Are we allowing them to be positive influences? Are we encouraging others to get closer and closer to God? Is he in our top 5? Today it is up to us to choose on if we want God to be in our lives, and make today the day that you choose God. Thank you everyone for enjoying this video. May God defend you in battle and be the lamp upon your feet. God bless.